Much of this island burned. You think there's 850 to 1,000 people still missing. Do you know what that means? They were burnt to a crisp. They're looking for teeth. They're looking for bone fragments. You know, what's going on in Hawaii, it's really sad. I mean, for most of America, it's way off there in the middle of the Pacific. You know, we understand there's a problem and people are dead. But the news coverage has been so lousy, let alone what Biden has done over there. And the fact that he comes under almost no criticism except for the idiotic behavior and statements, for which he should be absolutely obliterated. But isn't it time we as a nation accept the fact that Joe Biden is at stage 5 dementia? Look it up. I looked this up. He's at stage 5. All the evidence is there. You don't need to have gone to medical school to figure this out. Many of you probably have individuals in your family who've had some level of dementia or Alzheimer's. You see it. Here's what I don't get, though. His wife knows it. She lives with him. She's not protecting him. Shouldn't she say, honey, I don't want you running for re-election? I mean, seriously. And what about the country? When's the last time this guy had a cabinet meeting? I don't remember a cabinet meeting in months. Does anybody here? No. I want to play for you a piece that was on ABC News Live a couple days back when a Lahaina resident tells the story of saving lives during the wildfires. And these residents in Maui are disgusted by Biden. Absolutely disgusted by him talking about himself. He always does this.
I don't want to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. And lightning struck at home on a little lake. It's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond. I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat. You guys catch the boots out here? That's a hot ground, man.
Lying about his circumstance. The guy's not just, you know, short of a few marbles there. He's always been like this. Since he was a punk kid, since he was in college, since he was plagiarizing in law school. He has always been a fraud and a phony and a liar. Always. Let's take a listen. Go.
The fire in Maui is now the second deadliest blaze in the United States in a century, trailing only the 2018 Camp Fire in California, which killed 85 people. And the death toll in Maui is expected to rise as search crews reach areas destroyed by the fast-moving fires. Hospitals are overwhelmed with burn patients. Power and cell service remains out for much of the area. Authorities.
Folks, do you understand how fast this fire was moving? You're standing there. That's how fast the fire was moving. Go ahead.
The fire destroyed all the buildings in the historic section of Lahaina, which once served as the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom.
So it started off as a great vacation in Maui, our 10th year there, making memories with the family. And then just like that, things changed. High winds from Dora came in. We thought it was just, you know, power outage. And then you look across the beach and see this in Lahaina, smoke, high winds, and you know something's not right. Next thing you know, there's lines, hundreds of people sitting in lines for hours, hoping to get some food, some water, just some basic essentials to get back to our hotel. And then we see this at 3:30 in the morning, and you know that it's time to run to shelter, because seeing that in the middle of the night is scary. And then we get a shuttle to the airport. Passing through Lahaina was surreal. Just ground zero. You can smell the smoke. You can hear people crying. This is something that I wish my family and I can erase from our memory. Just a city that we've made so many memories together in. To see it just gone is just absolutely heartbreaking. And to have our daughter at a shelter, kids at a shelter, you know, so many great people there just trying to take care of you. You just can't believe that you're actually there and you have become a displaced family just trying to get help. We've been so grateful to have friends that live there. They took us in on the other side of the island. They helped us, you know, just get some food, get a shower, and in the end, we finally get a flight home, and you just feel relieved, but at the same time, you feel guilty that there are still others there just trying to make it.
Lonnie and Noni are a mother-daughter duo who have deep roots in Lahaina. As strong winds moved in last week, they stayed home, but a fire was nearby and it was time to drive away.
Embers are already falling down on us.
Blasting the AC to stay cool, fire surrounds them.
Then we see another fire like on the side of us. A whole house, we're like in the car and a whole tree is on fire and we're just like, I was like, oh my God, we're gonna die.
The only way out, over the seawall and into the water. But Noni has trouble walking. And that's when Benny Reinike springs into action.
So he's like, trust me, I promise, I got you.
He carries Noni over the wall on his back, keeping them safe in the water for over 8 hours.
I just kept thinking to myself, like, this is a young, you know, healthy guy that he could have just left. He could have swam around to safety, but he didn't.
Now GMA setting up a reunion a week in the making.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Graham.
So happy.
The emotion is palpable.
I was
You were hurting,
scared.
but I would do it again over and over again. There's no way morally I could just walk past that and just save myself. You know?
And now this mother and daughter have a final message for Benny.
And she wouldn't have made it without you. I wouldn't have made it, baby.
We love you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, you're part of our ohana.
People are saying that words just cannot describe what you all lived through. And you said you were there for hours in the water for what, 8, 9 hours? I mean, talk about teamwork. How did you lean on each other during that time?
Yeah, it's super inspiring. We all realized the situation and we all knew we just had to get past, you know, just past this moment. We were just focused on moments at a time and not necessarily concerned about the longevity end of it. You know, a car would blow up. And
let's stop a moment. I would remind you folks that just because you're in the water, you're not saved. I mean, it's not that flames go in the water, but it gets so hot they can still melt your skin and so forth, all from the land area, the beach area. So this was truly heroic. Go ahead.
Blow up, and we would say, if you could just get past this part, it'll get easier, perhaps. Just keeping each other encouraged. You know, just trying to keep it light. Some passing jokes here and there.
Look at that. It looks like an atomic bomb hit this place. Look at it. Look, every damn house. Go ahead.
Such as, after this is all over, you have to taste my cooking. I'm an amazing cook. And, you know, conversations such as that until the next car explodes, and then we all realize where we're at. There's embers flying. You know, your hair kind of catches on fire. You have to occasionally put water on yourself to not have the embers burn your skin. You know, there's waves because we're in the ocean. The waves are knocking us over into the boulders of the rock. So we're trying to hold on. Some people are floating away. I'm having to go grab them and put them back where we were. It was just a true nightmare. Just the worst Tarantino film to ever be a part of. There's heroin hours.
We know that Lonnie and Noni weren't the only people that you helped that day, Benny. Who else did you help?
Yeah, there was an 88-year-old lady, fit but fragile, who was having a hard time climbing over, and her daughter is doing the best she could to put her over the wall in order to get to safety, which is inside the ocean. So I grabbed her on my back, and the rocks were so slippery that I couldn't just walk. At moments I had to crawl down to where the safest part was. And she had 2 more ladies with them. They were capable. I grabbed their bags, threw the bags where I thought would be the most safe, grabbed them, and then I found a spot. It just so happened I found a spot where there's no telephone poles or no palm trees. It was just the perfect pocket, if you will, to ensure that nothing's going to fall on our heads while we're down there, because you can't see anything. You know, it's just so pitch black. You can't even open your eyes without it just burning, like just seeping, steaming. It's just control I've never experienced ever in my life. But I just happened to find a small little section where there's nothing above us, so I'm not worried about anything falling on top of us. We just have to get past this moment and the next moment and so on until we finally got rescued some 8 or 9 hours later. And, you know, there's a person deceased to the left of us. I'm checking his pulse like I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get some kind of reading, slapping him and just trying to wake him up, and it's just not happening. And then another guy's screaming, there's a person way down there, there's an uncle way down there, somebody go get him. Mm-hmm. So now I'm having to, you know, go back to where the most danger was and mm-hmm. you know, try to get that person. And then he tells me that he's disabled from the left side of his body. He can't actually walk at all.
Oh, goodness.
So me and Lonnie grabbed the wheelchair of her mother, mm-hmm. grabbed the wheelchair, we sat him down, and then we're just going through the safest path of cars that are already blown up. There's still smoke. The fire is only getting worse by the minute. We're just navigating, me and Lonnie, through the trenches of hell, really, trying to find just the safest path to where the firefighters were waiting for us there.
And you know what's amazing? If our folks here hadn't caught this clip, I would never have seen this, and I wouldn't know who that man is. That is a tremendous hero. And he certainly gives hope to me, and I hope to the rest of you. How he is saving lives of strangers and so forth. And I would hope I would be able to do the same thing physically, because I know I'd want to do it. You know, when you're in a circumstance like that, you don't want to see people die, elderly people, handicapped people, any people. You'll try and do what you can. But once again, to be perfectly honest with you, government let them down. I'll just say it. You can't prevent every fire. You can't prevent these high winds in the middle of the Pacific. But to keep blaming climate change for something that obviously had nothing to do with climate change, they always have some ambiguous phrase that they use, so they're not held to account or nobody's responsible. Same thing with gun violence and deaths. They just throw out gun control, which means we're never going to even attempt to seriously address these issues, because we can just have these false idols up here. Oh, if you would just surrender your energy independence. Really? And your light bulbs. Tell me, what do light bulbs have to do with what took place there? Nothing. Nothing. And then I have this fraud of a president, dementia, no dementia, who has to be told he needs to get there, and he has to break off from his second vacation, Lake Tahoe, where he constantly is mooching off of billionaires and foreign governments and so forth and so on. I mean, government jobbers have been very, very helpful to Joe Biden in his career, in his life, and his wealth. Who knew that serving in the Senate most of your life could result in such wealth and riches and so forth? Just appalling. And then he gets here, and what does he talk about? His kitchen fire.
Want to see more? Sign up for LevinTV.